Welcome back everyone to Scavenging with Pineleaf, a series of tales, travels, and trifles. And today we'll head into the second year trifles, which are Reflections 1, which is the first series of Reflections, where we'll go through some items in the reflection pool. Now I'm not going to do all of these instances because that would take too much time, but I thought I would do a few favorites of them so that we can reflect on those.
An unholy alliance is forged within the depths of Othrengroth, the Great Barrow, a sinister pact which could spell doom for Eriador.
And the first of these that I've chosen is Othrengroth. Why is that? Because there are a lot of good memories and some bad ones involving this particular instance. This was originally the first 6-player instance that most players will do. I know it's no longer a 6-player instance, but it was sort of a preview for the Great Barrow, because that's where you go. So while today it is soloable pretty easily when you're level 21, back then you needed a full group of 6. And yes, it is possible that if you went through the Shire, that you had a gift from the north, which was also intended for a group. I can't remember if that really needed 6 or if you were able to do it by 3, because back in those days they made no real distinction between full fellowship and small fellowship quests, and I can't remember whether it's changed. I think it has been adjusted down a little bit since then. And of course this has, so you could solo it. Now, the thing about this particular one is, even though it is pretty easily soloable, I think, at level 21, it's not necessarily the case when you're a little bit lower than that. In fact, usually I will not touch this one until I am at least level 20. Because I've had a few characters that were trying for the Undying Deed and didn't quite complete it because I was level 19 and I came in here. In fact, one time I was doing this with someone. We were both level 19, and yeah, we both lost our Undying titles as well. Okay, I lost my Undying title. I don't know if that the other player had an Undying title to lose at that point. So therefore, yes, there are a lot of memories of this for that. And of course, this is the end of the first book of the epic storyline, so the first complete era. Yes, you did have your prologues, but this is the first one that everyone did. That everyone had the same book one, while the prologues, they were peculiar to your particular race. So yes, many memories on this matter, and of course, your opportunity to run through and try to find Skorgrim and the Witch King. Though of course you don't get to fight. I mean, because let's face it, a bit much to face the Witch King around this time. Right, everything done? Good. And we head on forward. Now, some of these areas, of course, will be familiar to those if you are doing the Great Barrow instance, since obviously they're modeled off of the same space, though I don't necessarily remember all the sections all that well, because this is obviously the maze section. And then we head down here. Trying to remember exactly where this fits into the Great Barrow. It shows you how much I've been in the Great Barrow if I can't remember it by heart. Ivar the... Oh yes, your introduction to our friend Ivar the Bloodhand. Ooh, can't forget him. And of course we had all this dread in here, and our friends the Barrowites. And yeah, I'm beginning to remember this all pretty well. Oh, we gotta have them all finished through before I can allow to get through. Yeah, unfortunately, of course, I get through there too quickly because I'm so over-leveled here. level 105, and of course this is a level 21 instance. And of course the final fight here, where we go against Sambrog, though this fight's a little bit easier than if you go to the main section of the Great Barrow. And I think the reason why, on the epic storyline, one of the things it did was to introduce you to the various instances in the area. So this introduced you to the Great Barrow, and the final boss you'll be killing and all this stuff. Sort of strange that they have the boss here come through, Tom Bombadil coming down and going, yeah! Well, whatever he does at this moment. Right, looks like he's killed or something like this. Well, if it's an intro to the Great Barrow, then... Okay, I guess killing the boss isn't a major thing in the Great Barrow since he's dead anyway! Yeah. Alright, that completes the instance, and of course, we've got our first of our reflections of the past.
The goblins of Mount Graham have never forgotten their defeat at the hands of the Shirefolk, and revenge has brought them hither once more.
And speaking of the prologues, let us take care of the instance at the end of that. Another one that was originally a group instance, but of course was later made more and more soloable. And should be rather doable. You see it's level 12. I think there should be no trouble for a level 12 player to be able to solo this. Assuming that you're reasonably careful and all that stuff. You see you're facing your goblins one at a time. Let's go through here and did I get them all? Yeah, I got them all. Let's continue then and head down or up this way, I guess, be more appropriate. And take out all the goblins here. Now, of course, I play goblins. I mean, not goblins. I play hobbits quite a bit, so therefore I am quite familiar with.
It's been a foul day, it has.
With doing this, and this is the capstone to the prologues that I am most familiar with. So I don't know why they chose this one and decided not to have the other two to be on the list. Right, there we go. Down this way. And continue on. Actually, I guess this is a one that might be able to. How well does it stand alone? I guess maybe because we are following Sam along, they decided to choose the Hobbit one. I guess that makes sense. All right, let's take care of that one. See, it's pretty straightforward now. Of course, right now I'm level 105, so that makes it a whole lot easier. But we got level 13 ones here. And level 11, so about level 12. And then they downgraded the main goblin down to a normal. Personally, I think he should have been made a signature. Yeah, I think they could have safely left him at that, but that's just my opinion. Well, that takes care of that. And that, see, now he wants a rest. So that takes care of Beneath the Greenfields.
Heartened by the gift of Dunakar from Elrond of Rivendell, Gullidir prepares to assail Cairn Dûm and drive the sword into the unseen heart of Mordorith, the murderous steward of Angmar. Courage may bring hope, but a thirst for vengeance could spell doom.
And of course, we can't be complete here unless we include the first time that we managed to give a little defeat to Mordorith. So let's go and take care of Mordorith. Seal yourselves, as Mordred will try many things to break our resolve. Yeah. So, of course, we remember Mordred quite well. So there are a great many memories that are associated with him. Of course, we have this one. We have the quest he's referring to here, where he kills Guladir's daughter, and of course, this is where Guladir has a bit of revenge from him. And of course, Mordred here goes through all these things to taunt, because he just loves taunting people. Because he says, yeah, they're all failed. Do you wish to join these countless failures and death? And of course, sending his usual enemies here that were a lot tougher back when I was level 50, I have to tell you that. Yeah. Now, this is the character of mine that actually did the epic storyline on level. In other words, that was my challenge for this character, was to not to go back and do any of it late, and in fact I was required to finish all of Volume 1 before starting Volume 2. So therefore I went and done all of these Ogmar epic storyline quests without a legendary item, since I considered that to be part of Volume 2. So that added a little bit of a challenge to that whole thing. So I guess that's one of my most noted items that I had here was, of course, oh yes, let's take care of these also. One of my most noted memories, of course, was going through this character and going through all of these epic storylines and seeing, can I complete it at level? Because previously, I believe the first time I had done it, I was already at least level 65, and we had, can't remember if I had any help on or something, but I think this is the character that I did underestimate how much toll it took on the armor and all that stuff. So it wasn't this instance, but the one where you actually finally finish out Volume 1, where I went through it halfway, half of it I didn't have a shield, and I can tell you that it's not fun playing a warden without a shield. But there you go. Now let's take care of all these. Good. So we go all through here, and I think we finally made it to the throne room here. And most likely, actually, yeah, I'd rather go through this particular fight without having to worry too much about my hope versus, there we go. How much dread do I have on me right now? +9 dread, and I'm knocking off 6 of it at the moment, so that's 3 in all. Whee! Yeah, that makes things tougher, especially with Guladir here with this apparition of Lorniel. Does it change that I am lost to your futile attempts to shatter the Iron Crown? Mother was lost, friends uncounted slain, and for what? Only for you to see your beloved daughter lying dead before the gates of Cardoom. Give up to this vain pursuit, father. It is folly. There is no shame in surrendering when you have lost so very much. Yeah. Lorniel apparition. Actually, I think we fight said Lorniel apparition. Very strange because it has the defender plate there rather than the enemy plate. And now we got a real enemy plate here, with the nemesis of all things. Collect plans of war? That's oh, how do I do damage to this guy? You see here, I'm having no trouble doing damage to him even at this. Let's see, what is this shield? Imposing presence. Merely standing at the throne room of Cardoon gives moderate strength. Actually, the light of Dunicar, Avenger of the Width, will strike you down. Now that. Oh, come on, give me my weapon back. Yeah, now that Dunicar is in the fight, we're able to do him damage. There you go. Alright, and this is not possible! Yeah, I know. That's what they all say. Oops. So much for him. Where are your words now, false king? False king? I am more justly a king than he who sits before my throne. Let us be done, Gullidir. In the end, your victory matters not. And of course, he's referring to what we learned later on in Volume 4, where our dealings with Mordorith are quite different on the matter. Where he's okay, actually. Oh yeah, I can't remember. I have any trouble remembering who's where on where we've been so far on our various items. Alright, there you go. Base coward and all that stuff. Mordorith flees, of course. So, and we have the return of Sarah Oakard, everybody's favorite old lady in distress. Oh, we have done well. What are you doing here? Oh, that's a pretty good question. Oh, your questions will be answered in time. Yeah, in a couple of more chapters. Oh, but for now, know that you have done me a great favor. So she stuns us in return for this. Because now she can steal the Palantir! Yay! Sarah Oakart. And that turns us into the next phase of Volume 1. We've taken care of Angmar for a moment, and now we have all our stuff to do with Sarah Oakart. Joy! And those are all the reflections that we have time for today. I will be doing these others on my own between episodes because next time we are going to be heading into Year 3, where we're going to head into some new Tales, Travels, and Trifles when we return for our next episode of Scavenging with Pineleaf.